Nagarathar Chamber of Commerce. Sail to prosper.
என்று கேட்பது நகரத்தார்களின் பண்பு. அந்த வகையில் வரவேற்புரையை வழங்க வருபவர் கல்வி பணியே தனது வாழ்நாள் பணி என கொண்டு ஆயிரக்கணக்கான மாணவர்களின் வாழ்க்கையை மாற்றியமைத்த பெருமைக்கு சொந்தக்காரர். இங்கே வரவேற்புரையை வழங்க காத்திருக்கும் தஞ்சாவூர் கல்வி வளர்ச்சியின் சொந்தக்காரராக விளங்கும் பிளாசம் பப்ளிக் ஸ்கூலின் சேர்மன் திரு அலகு அழகப்பன் அண்ணன் அவர்கள். அவர்களை பற்றிய அறிமுகத்தினை வழங்க ஹரிஷ் முத்துக்கருப்பனை மேடைக்கு அழைக்கிறோம்.
எல்லாரும் எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? Hope everyone are good. I was equally excited to attend this event, seeing the line of speakers, and I'm really super excited when I got the chance to introduce the inaugural speaker of our YES Launchpad 2025. This is Harish Muthukaruppan, Uru Vrachala, a business analyst at Amazon. Flexing about yourself is fun, but flexing doesn't come independently. It comes with sheer level of confidence. And for me, my school has been the 200% source of my confidence, and schools and educational institutions build that belief system in you. And I'm truly honored to share the stage with someone who has been cultivating that confidence in thousands of young minds for decades together. Our inaugural speaker is not new to NCC, and we are not new to him. It's our very own honorary member, Alagu Alagappan avargal. To tell about Annan has been in various leadership roles. He is the founder and chairman of Blossom Public School and Blossom Bluebells Academy. He is the member of managing committee of Tyagarajar College and trustee of Karnal at Karaikudi. He is the past president of the Thanjavur Chamber of Commerce and Industries, past president of Thanjavur Nagarathar Sangam. He is a proud patron of Tamil Nadu Cricket Association. Annan has kept his foot in every place, inspiring generations together. இன்றைக்கி தஞ்சாவூரில் போய் பையன் எங்கே படிக்கிறான் அப்படின்னு கேட்குறப்போ பிளாசம் ஸ்கூலில் படிக்கிறாங்கிறது ஒரு பெருமைக்குரிய விஷயமாக மாறி இருக்கிற அளவுக்கு அண்ணன் ஒரு பிராண்டை உருவாக்கியிருக்காங்க. எப்போவுமே தொடக்கம் சிறப்பாக இருந்துச்சுன்னா விளைவும் சிறப்பாக இருக்கும். எப்படி ஒரு குழந்தையோட வாழ்க்கையில் ஸ்கூலிங் ரொம்ப முக்கியமோ அதே மாதிரி ஒரு நிகழ்ச்சியோட தொடக்கமும் ரொம்ப முக்கியம். நம்ம பிளாசம் அண்ணன் ரெண்டையுமே சிறப்பாக பண்ணிகிட்ருக்காங்க. So without taking much of your time, I'll quickly call our inaugural speaker of the day to the stage with a small Tamil poetry. பாசமிகு அரும்புகள் வாசம் செய்கின்ற பிளாசம் பள்ளியின் நிறுவனர் அண்ணன் அழகு அழகப்பன் அவர்களை துவக்க உரை வழங்க அன்போடு மேடைக்கு அழைக்கிறேன்.
All of you, I'm indeed very happy to be a part of this program, and when I was invited to inaugurate this, I thought it would give me an immense opportunity to speak to some of those aspiring young businessmen and women. Now, this Launchpad 25 is a conference that focuses on finding an answer to a very difficult question, as was mentioned by Mrs. Uma Mayappan, on when you sit down to choose your career, whether to pursue the business that is being done by your parents, your family, or whether to choose your own, is always a big dilemma. And many times I find youngsters saying that we would like to do what we want. And I always find that, when you have a passion for something and when you do it and make it your profession, it always has a greater chances of succeeding. But remember that either you make your profession your passion or you make your passion your profession. There are only two ways you can manage. I have seen in our community, Nagarathar community, many of us have taken to businesses which have been done by our families for generations. And one of the most important reasons we attribute to this is because we say we are emotionally attached to the business. Now, I must tell you that when it comes to business, there is no place for emotions. Now, if you think you have the right to start a business, you also must remember that you have the right to close it down. There is no question of saying that my father did it, my mother did it, or my grandparents did it. What was done 50 years before may not be applicable today. So we need to be very, very clear in deciding on what to do. Now, the other major question that comes to our minds is whether I should be a job seeker or whether I should be a job provider. Whether I should take to self-employment or whether I should do something for somebody else. Now, this is another major question. I remember many of us telling youngsters, You must provide employment for more and more people, but not all of us are cut out for the same thing. But whatever be it, you must remember that India is a country where it's very difficult to make decisions. One of the main reasons why people want to leave India is because of the system. Now, when you finish your education and enter into business, the first most important problem that you face is that we have a system which is very, very corrupt. And most of us say that I cannot survive the system and therefore I would like to leave this country. Now, this is a very important social problem that I want all of you to address. We will have to start resisting corruption. One of the most dampening factors why people don't want to enter business is because of this corruption. And I remember, when you start choosing your careers, the first thing you must understand is please do not sacrifice your personal integrity for the sake of business. Many times people think that to be successful in business, you can do anything. But please remember that your integrity is everything. I remember Abraham Lincoln, who became the President of the United States of America, when he was a practicing advocate, long before he became the President of US, was once approached by one of his clients, and the client came to him and said, I've committed a murder, but I have enough evidence to prove that I have not committed this murder, and you are one of the very leading advocates, a very intelligent man, and you have the capacity to save me from being punished. Now, Abraham Lincoln said, okay, you leave the papers with me and come back 2 days later. He went through the papers, and then after 2 days, when the client returned, he said, I will not be able to take up this case for argument, because when I take up this case for argument, and when I argue in the court of law, my conscience will keep telling me, Lincoln, you're a liar. Lincoln, you're a liar. And I don't want to live with such a guilty conscience. Now, he told his client, your case is technically strong, but ethically weak, and I may not be able to take it up for argument. Now, how many of us will take this stand today? I don't know. Most of the advocates who charge heavily today are those who appear for those who are well-known criminals. And please remember that there was one advocate who told me that it is my profession, and I can use my intelligence the way I want. But remember, if you sacrifice your integrity, you cannot sustain in business or profession. So Abraham Lincoln had a very clear message to convey to us. He said, I am prepared to sell my professional time, but not my conscience. And therefore, to the youngsters, I would like to tell you, please do not sacrifice your integrity for the sake of success. Every building was once a blueprint. Every champion was once a beginner. Every king was once a crying baby. Every book was once a piece of paper. Every leader was once a follower. Every invention was once an idea. And therefore, you must remember that business leadership is not about being born a businessman. You have to acquire business qualities. Business leaders are not born, they only emerge through their qualities of leadership, hard work, determination, creativity, and competence. But the most important underlying factor, as I said earlier, is integrity. In India today, we have lots of intelligence. There are plenty of intelligent people in this world, especially in India, but who lack integrity. And therefore, we who are probably trying to provide and impart education, we have a big challenge on hand, whether we should make children intelligent or whether we should make them children of intelligence and integrity. Please remember that illiteracy used to be a problem in India. Today, illiteracy is no longer a problem. Today, the problem is intelligence without integrity. And therefore, my dear friends, to those who are young, please remember you have to become intelligent, but never ever sacrifice your integrity. Now, I want all of you to be very real in taking decisions. Today, the world is very fake. Everything is artificial. I can tell you for sure that everything is becoming artificial, including intelligence. Most of you are thinking about artificial intelligence, but a lot of things are already artificial. And intelligence becoming artificial is not surprising. But I want all of you to maintain your originality. don't sacrifice your brains in order to do something different. I think most of us youngsters have stopped thinking. We are relying too heavily on our gadgets to do the thinking, and that is not freedom. That's very fake. You are beginning to believe in being fake. You're being faked many times. And I must tell you, when I went to Turkey last time, when I just landed on a picnic spot and I saw a board which said outside a shop, genuine fake watches available. And I was wondering, what is this genuine fake watches? Genuine and fake are totally unconnected words. And then I found out that the fake watches being sold in that shop are genuine. Remember, today, people are not only faking what is genuine, people are also faking what is already fake. So the world is full of fake, and therefore I would like you to remember that we have to be extremely careful in maintaining our originality and individuality. Some of the common questions that come to our mind when we settle down to choose our career. First is, should I be self-employed or should I work for someone else? 3 years of building your dream or spending 40 years building someone else's dream? That's a difficult question to answer. Being employed guarantees me a fixed, assured income, whereas doing business is risky and my income is not guaranteed. This is another question. If I decide to start my own business, where do I get the capital from? First generation success in India is very, very, very difficult. You have to be born a son of a big man, or you must come from a big family to be successful. Please remember, youngsters, that you have a bigger challenge if you do not have something to inherit. Therefore, you will have to be very, very careful if you start your first generation business. You will be in for success, and I can tell you that you can do much better than inheriting something. Does the present situation promote youngsters from starting their own business enterprise? To this question, my answer is no, because most of us do not want to attempt to start anything new because of several reasons. The number one being rampant corruption, low margins, severe competition, high costs of borrowing, and so many other factors. Now, choosing a business is not so easy, but you have to fail in order to succeed. You inherit religion, you inherit wealth, you inherit health, you inherit values, you also inherit customs. But do you also inherit business, a profession? That's a question that you have to answer. In India, sons of politicians want to become politicians. Sons of doctors want to become doctors. Sons of industrialists want to become industrialists. We don't want to change our professions, and that, I think, is something that we need to be thinking upon. Social objectives. Please remember that being in business only to make money is not the right thing to do. Money is just one of the many factors while doing your business. Being in business also means being human. You can't harm the health of people or cheat them to become rich or successful. It must be a win-win situation for you and your customers. Let me take my own case. I would like to share my little experience. I inherited a business from my family which was selling cigarettes. Our family used to do a business where we used to sell cigarettes. After a few years of being in that business, which I inherited because of being a family business, I suddenly realized that it is not socially right to be harming the health of people in order to do business. And therefore, I decided to quit. And I said, I will not continue this business. A lot of people ask me, there's a lot of money in this business, why do you want to leave it? And I said, money is not the only factor. Sustenance in a business will depend on how well you can manage it and how well you can do something good for the customers. Now, I quit that business and decided to take to education only because I thought that I was doing a business which was harming the health of people, and that I think was not the right thing for me to do. Now, please remember that leadership is perhaps the most important thing when it comes to doing business. All of us have to acquire leadership qualities. I remember, when you ask small children, what do you want to become when you grow up in life? There was a child who was asked this question. The mother kept telling the child all the time, you must be happy. You must grow up to be happy. And the child was so determined to be happy that one day while in school, when she was asked the question, what do you want to be in life? She said, I want to be happy. The teachers told the child, you have not understood the question. To which the child said, you have not understood life. Please remember that what you want to become is not as important as being happy in life. You can't do something to make yourself unhappy, and therefore choose to be happy at all times, because happiness is what life is all about. To the Nagarathar youth today, I must tell you that we are people who lack the killer instinct. In business people say you must have a killer instinct. But we are a very passive community. We love peace. A little noise somewhere and we are away from that. And that, I think, is one reason why we don't want to take big risks. We don't want to take chances. Many times people tell me, I don't know, somebody was telling me, Tamil இருக்கும் இங்கிலீஷ்ல இருக்கும்னா நம்ம வீட்டில் ஆட்சிமார்கள்லாம் சொல்லுவாங்க, இதுக்கு தேவையில்லாதெல்லாம் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்க, உங்கள் அப்பா நிறைய சேர்த்து வச்சுருக்காங்க, உங்கள் ஐயா நிறைய சேர்த்து வச்சுருக்காங்க, கட்டடங்கள்லாம் கட்டி விட்டுருக்காங்க, வாடகை வருது, ஃபிக்ஸட் டெபாசிட் போட்டிருக்காங்க, வட்டி வருது, ஷேர் வாங்கி வச்சுருக்காங்க, டிவிடெண்ட் வருது, இதெல்லாம் வந்துட்டு இருக்கிறப்ப எதுக்காக தேவையில்லாமல் பிஸ்னஸ்லாம் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு இருக்கீங்க? சும்மா இருங்க, சும்மா இருந்தால் போதும், ஒன்றும் பண்ண வேண்டாம், எதுக்கு தேவையில்லாமல் ரிஸ்க் எடுத்து பண்ணிக்கிட்டு அதெல்லாம் வேண்டாம், சும்மா காலையில் எழுதுங்க, குளித்து சாப்பிட்டு இப்போ பாருங்கள், பேங்க்கில் பாஸ்புக்கை பார்த்தா தெரியும் என்ன பணம் வந்துட்டுருக்குன்னு. இப்படி சொல்லி 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 வளர்த்ததுனால நம்ம பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணுறதே விட்டுட்டோம். இன்றைக்கி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா 75% of the Nagarathar community people want to go for jobs. And most of them want to get exported. And that's the pity. Yeah, but I don't know about visas, but I can tell you one thing, people are repenting having gone abroad. So Indianization is becoming more important. People have to come back. I'm very happy that Mr. Trump has opened the doors to a new set of thinking, because people used to think that going to America is everything in life. I remember many times people telling me, I'm going to join Venkateshwara College of Engineering in Chennai, because that is my gateway to America. And today I can tell you a lot of people want to come back. So please discourage your children, and also those youngsters here, please don't go away. Please be in India. India is a wonderful country. We have a bright future. Do not ever think of going abroad. So why I'm saying all this is, we are in a difficult situation now, but at the same time, we must be proud that we belong to a nation which is giving us a lot of confidence. There is a bright future in store for us. Please make sure that you choose your careers carefully, become successful. But as I told you earlier, never ever sacrifice your personal integrity. Now, நம்ம communityல இன்னொரு problem இருக்கு. Many times people tell me that we are not a united community. We have a lot of ego problems. We're not able to get along very well. And therefore, I think that one of the most difficult things that we as a community face is we are not able to be a part of a team. Teamwork is one very important thing. As a leader, you have to build a team. But in order to become a leader, you have to be a part of a team. So I think most of the time, we don't know how it is to be a part of a team. So being a part of a team will help us to know more about leadership, so that you can build a strong team. Now, when you want to build a brand, please remember that you have to build a team. There is a team behind your brand. The brand is non-existent without the team behind it. Your brand becomes more and more powerful than you. I remember, as I think I told in the last meeting of the Launchpad, that there were days when people used to talk about me. When they talk to me, they'll say, I used to go telling them that I have got a school by the name Blossom. And today I can tell you people identify me with the brand. So the brand becomes more powerful. So there were times when I used to keep telling about the brand in order to make the brand popular. But today, the brand is more popular than me as an individual. And that, I think, is what leadership is all about. You cannot continue to remain popular as an individual in the process of strengthening a brand. And people must identify you with the brand because your brand is becoming more and more successful. And that is what real business growth is all about. So please remember, build a brand. You don't have to worry about your personal popularities. Leadership is not about popularity. It is not a popularity contest. It is about building a team. It is about building a brand. And I know that once you are able to understand all this, you will be able to do better in your business. Now, I must compliment Mrs. Uma Mayappan for having taken this as the subject, because choosing your business is a very difficult decision, especially when you have a family business already in place. And I must also thank Mr. Kadir for inviting me. Sometimes it happens that you're destined to be here, to be able to speak to a wonderful set of audience like this. And I know that this audience is a potential audience because you are going to decide the future of business and careers. Now, when I say you must start business, I'm not compelling anyone to start business. I'm not saying that you must take 2 jobs. Some of us have the potential to do business. Some of us have a potential to work. So there is nothing like saying that this is the only answer. To a question, there are thousands of answers, and to thousands of questions, there are millions of questions again. So there is nothing like right or wrong, but please try to apply your minds. Make sure that you make the right choices. Pursue a career path which you think will be the most suitable for you, and make sure that you bring good name to yourself as an individual, to your family, to our community, and most importantly, to India. Because I believe that if, as a youngster, you are responsible for bringing good name, wherever you are. If you go to any country, if you do good business, if you're doing well, people ask you, where are you from? Which country are you from? And if you say India, that brings good name to the country. And when you identify yourself as somebody from a particular family, yes, you must work for your families. Protect the reputation of your family. We all carry a brand with us. The family, Vilasam சொல்லுவாங்க ஒவ்வொருத்தருக்கும் அந்த குடும்ப விலாசம் இருக்கு. அது it is already there. A brand is already there with you. We have to preserve that brand, protect that brand, keep up the reputation, and ensure that we continue to progress. I am sure that all of you will take this, your wonderful speakers today. Your Mr. C.K. Ranganath waiting to speak to you. Sure, Mr. Kumar Vembu is coming later on. Tarun Mahadevan. All of them are people who have probably done very well. They have a life experience to share with all of us. And from each one's life story, there is a lesson to take. There is plenty of takeaways today. And I want all of you to remember that the lessons that come from each one of them is what will decide on the fate and future of each one of us as an individual. I always keep telling myself, if I'm going to Chennai today, if I'm going to meet people, there must be something that I must go back which is enlightening me, which will enrich me, make me more knowledgeable than when I landed in Chennai yesterday. So I'm sure all of you will make the best use of this opportunity, work very hard, and I congratulate and compliment the members of the Nagarattar Chamber of Commerce Chennai for contemplating on this idea, and I wish all of you, Uma Mayappan and the entire team. Uma was mentioning to me about one thing. She said, அண்ணன் நாங்கள் இந்த 2 பேரை பேச விட்டுருக்கோம்ல, எப்போ ஒரு மீட்டிங்லேயும் புதுசாக யாராவது 2 பேரை கூப்பிட்டு பேச வைப்போம். This is only to promote talents, to remove stage fear. This is all very important because constantly and consistently we should be able to promote talents amongst the youth. And nurturing the youth, I'm sure, is the biggest good service that you and I can do for the betterment of the future of this community. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
பிளாசம் அழகப்பனை மரியாதை செய்ய அம்பா பழனியப்பண்ணன் மற்றும் அவர் பிரசிடென்ட் உமா ஆச்சி அவர்களை அன்போடு மேடைக்கு அழைக்கிறோம்.